Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. We back from vacation. It's me. It's Jules.
John's still on vacation.
Yeah, John's still taking a longer vacation, but we might have a special guest come on the podcast. A Washington Redskin fan, we all know.
Oh boy,
pop on. So
oh god. And here I think it was going to be a peaceful evening and a nice gentlemanly discussion. Oh god.
We'll see what that turns into, but you never know. He might pop on, might not, but we'll see. But yeah, Jules, we got the draft. I can't believe I'm saying this, but in about 8 days.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's insane, dude. Like, it's insane. And think about it. Last time we were on was when we were talking about like Barkley and how he went to the Eagles and then McKinney and all that kind of shit, right? And then we were like, oh, the draft is weeks away. And now it's basically a week away. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude.
And we'll be on. We'll be doing the podcast Thursday night. Definitely.
At least for the first like half of it, right? I don't know if I can do the whole draft.
Yeah, we got to make it through at least 10. First 10.
Yeah, we can definitely get to the top 10, maybe 15, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, there's been some drafts where we probably shouldn't have stayed on past the 15th pick, but
well, it's all rumors going around, man. A lot of smoke screens, I hear the Giants are trying out all the quarterbacks now from like not even the top 4. They're going to the top like 6, top 7 guys. So they're doing their homework on quarterbacks, which it makes me think, like I've been saying, I said on the podcast months ago, way before anybody said anything, I was like, wide receiver at 6, right? And probably a quarterback in the second round or trade back up into late first. I'm sticking to that. That's my gut with the Giants. And I think that's the way to go. I think they need a number 1 wide receiver. And now they're saying, like, I'm hearing things like if the top 4 quarterbacks go, like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then at 5, you get, a team like the Chargers or whatever drafting a tackle. And then
listen,
Harrison Jr. could be right there for us. For the take.
You know what? Like that's like the people that are like diehard, I want a wide receiver at 6 fans that like came up with that scenario, and they're like,
it might have been me.
In this world, we get Marvin Harrison Jr. It ain't happening, dude. It ain't happening. You know why? Because I'll tell you this much: if the Chargers are that dead set on getting a tackle at 5, there'll be another team knocking on their door for a trade to move into 5. Don't kid you there. You know what I'm trying to say? If they're sitting at 5 and they're not running up to the podium because Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't been drafted, I guarantee you someone's going to leapfrog us to go there. There's no doubt. It could be the Jets. I mean, shit, could you imagine if Marvin Harrison falls there and the Jets got to move up, a few spots at that point? Yo, come on. Think about it, man. Well, that's the only thing that worries me there. If that scenario did play out exactly like that, I think it would end up being more heartbreaking than good.
Well, do the Giants move up 1 spot?
Why? No. I mean, because what are you giving up at that point then? Probably you're switching first-round picks, and then we probably got to give up our second-round pick and maybe something else next year?
It'll probably be like maybe a third at most, I think, to move up 1 spot.
I mean, if it's a third, I'm down, but I don't know if you're getting off that cheap.
I wouldn't move that. I wouldn't move up 1 spot and give up a third anyway. We need our draft picks.
We definitely do. And look, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, right? Is because here's how I'm looking at this draft currently, right? With all this J.J. McCarthy talk, there's a chance that he could fall to us at 6, right? I mean, let's be real here, right? Let's say the top 3 guys go, and then all of a sudden at 4 goes Marvin Harrison Jr., and then at 5, because he went, let's say fucking Malik Neighbors goes there, right? Like they still want a receiver because they let go of 2 of their top receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, right? And all of a sudden they go receivers. So all of a sudden you go quarterback in the first 3 picks and then receiver. The Giants are sitting there at 6 with McCarthy there and Roman Dunze there and Alt, if you want, for that matter, right? And all of a sudden the Giants take fucking McCarthy. It would be so like deja vu and reminiscent to when the Giants selected Daniel Jones number 6. All right. Bro, I'll never forget. I can't tell you exactly the bar I was at, but I was at the bar. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden that 6 pick's coming up, and Josh Allen's on the board. Not quarterback Josh Allen, defensive end for the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars, right? And I'm screaming at the TV like a lunatic. And it wasn't even a sports bar, so that made it even worse, right? And I'm like, Josh Allen, oh my God, Josh Allen, hell yeah. And they're like, Giants select Daniel Jones from Duke. And I was like, what? Bro, I had to do like 3 shots and then walk out of the bar. and
I
honestly,
celebrated. I was in Nashville for the
bro,
draft.
it literally to me would feel as if it was the same shit over again. Like there's no difference. Here's the example I want to use in regards to that, right? Imagine you got like a Honda Accord, and no offense to Honda Accord owners, but I just wanted to use that model as a thing, right? But you don't really take care of your car. It's a little beat up. It's always, you never bring it to the car wash. You haven't put on a roll on the tires since you took it off the showroom, right? And you park the car, and all of a sudden, there's the same make and model across the street, except that guy's car or girl's car, whatever, is shined up. It just came out of the car wash, armor roll tires, and you're like, yo, that car looks good. Meanwhile, you're driving the same fucking car. That's the way I feel between JJ McCarthy and Daniel Jones. All right. Okay. JJ McCarthy is just a shiny fucking new toy across the street, but it's the same fucking toy. You got regifted, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and let me tell you this much: if they fucking trade up for him, I might lose my fucking mind. Okay, I'm gonna let you know that right now. Like if there was ever podcasts back when Sean Alexander fucking got drafted over fucking, I'm sorry, Ron Dayton got drafted over Sean Alexander, and I lost my mind to the point where I had to turn to my mother as a teenager and say, I'm going for a walk. And she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I just need to go for a walk, okay? And
wow.
If we trade up for JJ McCarthy, I feel like it'll be 10 times worse. That's honestly, I am not a JJ McCarthy fan. I didn't see much out of him in college. I think he's a game manager. I think he had a great offensive line. I think he had a great coach surrounded by a national title winning fucking team. You know, literally before the national title game, he was a second, third round pick at best. He didn't do anything in that national title game to say, oh my God, look at this. It's not like he passed for 400 yards and him and Penix had a shootout and he beat him in a shootout and he turned it on like Joe Burrow did when he played for LSU and they won that national title. Two different things, man. I see more of, if you go and you look at the U on the 30-30, the U, with all those great athletes they had when they were winning all those national titles in the 90s and early 2000s, and their quarterbacks, not one of them was a fucking superstar quarterback in the NFL. And that's just how I feel about JJ McCarthy, man. To me, it's exactly the same deal, dude. And I just can't. I would lose my shit, bro. Totally lose my shit.
Well, there's one quarterback I like. It's Jason Daniels, but the guy we're going to enter the podcast right now is a Washington Redskin fan.
Oh, here we go.
We gotta say,
Y'all saw we were having a peaceful conversation.
It's going pretty nice, but Washington Redskin fan. Obviously, Mike Malarkey's about to join us when he clicks on his phone. But it looks like Washington Redskins is the team that's going to get Jaden Daniels.
Hey, can you please stop calling them Redskins, because they're the Commanders now? Okay, let's get it correct.
I can't say the Commanders. The Commanders sounds too bad.
Commanders.
Welcome to the show, Malarkey.
Hello, Commander.
Your quarterback probably going to take Jaden Daniels at number 2, the guy that I like as quarterback. Washington Redskins. What do you think about them drafting that quarterback?
I don't know.
What? Do you like him or do you want somebody else?
I like what's his name the most, but
who?
Drake May.
Drake May.
Really?
I do.
Listen, May is still, I guess, up there to be taken number 2. It's just that for whatever reason he's fallen out of favor
be
that drafted that high.
It's smoke screens.
It could be. It could be.
I like JJ too. I like him.
Woo! Clearly, Mike wasn't on the show earlier.
Right, Jules does not like JJ McCarthy.
No, I know he doesn't, but I think he's a smart quarterback. Now, do I think he's overly crazy out? But I just saw him freshman year when he came in Michigan against the Alabama game, and I was like, "Ooh, this kid could play." You know what I mean? In the second half in the championship game, I think he could. Listen, I think all these quarterbacks, it depends on where they land, and if you have the right structure. If you don't, it don't matter.
That's fair. I agree with that 100%, because
none of these guys are Andrew Luck's or Peyton Manning. They're not like Cam. I don't care about what they say about Khalid Williams. I think it's ridiculous what they're saying.
And holy cow! I can't believe we're agreeing this much.
Wow! Holy shit! The world's.
I find it a little bit weird the things he does. I don't care. This is 2024. It's weird. It was weird in the 90s. It was weird in the 80s. It's weird still now.
You're painting the nails. You're talking about the little pink iPhone he got. Of course, it's weird. It's fucking.
And you know what though? It's almost, to me, I think it's all fake. I think he just does it to get attention, which makes it worse in my opinion. Because he seems like he's like a little like one of those like spoiled kids that just needs attention all the time. So he does these little things just to get it. You know what I mean? Let me paint my fingernails and hang out with a pink phone case around my
chick.
He's a tranny.
Maybe I get that part of it. Like, right. I mean, not to be sexist or anything, but right. But like he does shit just to get attention. God. You know, it's weird.
I don't want that guy. I would not want him anywhere near the Giants.
I don't care, dude.
He has potential to bust now.
He definitely does. He definitely
want that in the locker room? You want all that pink shit in the locker room? Come on, man. This is a man sport, bro.
I heard somebody say like a really good point, and it came from like a black guy too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like this thing, he
makes
said
it okay.
No. But like he said, he's a scout. I forget what his name was. I think it's Mark Ross. He was on the Redskin thing the other day, and he said that most guys that get that actually turn out to be really good quarterbacks have both parents.
Oh,
wow! He said that, huh?
Wow.
From White, he said White. He says it didn't matter if you came from money or you didn't come from money. You know what I mean? But if you had both parents,
you could say that like, about any successful person. You could actually say that. You know what I mean?
They said that, like,
right?
Your leader
I don't know if that's entirely true, but all right.
You're taught morals. Like when you have a father figure in the house, you're taught more morals and leadership as a boy. You know what I mean? So
leader of an.
I mean, he named a lot of quarterbacks, but then he says there's always that one. You know what I mean? Like that, stuff. But like he goes,
so Caleb,
if you go look at a lot of quarterbacks.
Is that what we're saying? Is Caleb doesn't have both parents? Is that
something? I think he just
you gotta give a little background on this.
I think no, because his father's in the picture, right? Isn't he bitching about like doing all this stuff? But he's like, I don't know if they're married or whatever. Like, I don't know if they're together because
don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that Pat Mahomes and his mom and dad haven't been together in years. Yeah, I know it's still in the picture somewhat, but that's why
his dad is always drunk driving all the time. He don't get it the first time. He did it like 8 times.
His brother's a moron, but whatever.
Well, I mean, he takes after his dad, who got his 17th DWI or something like that. So we see who took after who, huh?
Right.
The brother's like, yo, can you not do anything stupid?
It's like, bro, you could do whatever you want. Just don't be in the limelight. And
dude, if that was my brother, I would honestly get it after a while. I'd probably do it, us growing up. But then I'd be like, I'm not going out, guys. I can't go out.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on, Mike. And then to kind of go down this road here, Khalid Williams' dad was the one that was coming out and was trying to get him all this extra money prior to even being drafted. So his dad is like so much into the picture. Is his mom in the picture or something? Because like, his dad is going over the top trying to cash in before this dude.
Yeah, but the dad, they never showed the dad at the game. Like, unless he was that dude, I don't know. But they're like, he always went to his mom and stuff like that. Like,
there you go.
That's why I think, like, who's that? Yeah, but think about this.
His dad trying to be Lamar Ball. What's his
not for
exactly.
They just said for quarterback. But I'll give you guys a guy that you had. And remember, his mom was all up in the business. Eli Apple. How do you turn out?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, no, listen, dude. Remember? That's what I'm saying.
When that stuff started happening, you guys were like, "Oh no."
Of course,
dude. Listen,
here we go.
You know what? I'll tell you the truth.
I'll give you one for the Redskins. When Dwayne Haskins went on TV, I didn't like him when we drafted him right away. But when he went on TV and said, like, you guys and everybody made a mistake, I said, "Oh God, this dude's talking yap before he even played." I was like, "He's done. He definitely stinks."
Well, listen, I'll tell you this much, right? Like going back to like days of playing football in high school and coaching and everything else. I remember there was guys that were still, look, you're a teenager then, right? But they were still like very coddled, if you would, and like overprotected by their parents. And any of those players, if they didn't shake that shell, they never amounted to the talent that they were. And if that carries over through college, what do you think is going to happen when you go to the pros? This shit just continues, bro.
I think you got to have some hardship.
And you can get babied in the NFL. I
think if you go through hardship, you like, it just helps you. It hurts at the moment.
Listen, I want my quarterback that didn't get handed shit. That, you know what I mean, all throughout his college career. I want a guy that actually put the work in. You know what I mean?
It's funny because
nowadays it's different. I can say that about Eli. He got handed shit, but not really.
I'll say this.
Today was different than today. Today, now
he also had to live in his older brother's shadow.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Trainer, can you tell people, Vinny, and all these people that are listening, when you drafted Eli Manning, what did I say to you? I said, you guys got it. When they traded for it, I said, oh, man, you got this dude. I gave it up. He thinks I hate on everything with the Giants. I said, no. When you guys drafted Daniel Jones, I laughed my ass off. Like, you know what I mean?
I was just sharing my story about that draft. And it's too much and too similar to see us going down this road again. And that J.J. McCarthy, in my opinion, is Daniel Jones 2.0. Let's be real here.
No, I think he's better. I think he's better than Daniel Jones.
How do you know, dude? Could you imagine if Daniel Jones played for that Michigan team?
He could throw, Jules. He could throw.
So could Daniel. He could throw.
Nah, he's not accurate. He can run. Dude, I saw him at Duke. He was like, he was always that dude that you look. Dude, I watched it, dude. We played, Notre Dame played Duke one year. We were like, Like, dude, I watched these.
You wanted Joe over Haskins that year. You told me.
I'll say this. No. That's another thing when people say to me.
Oh, you told me.
No. What round did I say?
Outback Steak second round. Oh, but you wanted Daniel Jones. And I was like, no.
I said second round, trainer. I didn't say first round. I never. Justin at least admits that when he tells people, like, no, Mike said he liked them, but it's second round. I said second round. I did not have him. I didn't like any of those quarterbacks in that draft. You remember me saying, I was like, I don't like any of these guys.
Well, then, Mike, you don't feel that the same thing's happening with J.J. McCarthy? I mean, prior to the national
no,
title
because
game,
I actually thought he's a good, solid. I said it years ago. I was like, yo, this guy's not bad. Like, he's good. Let me tell you something, Jules. If he somehow makes, like, it matters where he lands, but if he goes to, like, to Denver, he'll light it up. He's accurate. He is mad accurate, the kid.
Well, he's not going to go there.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if we do it too. Like, I'll say this. These are the quarterbacks I liked in this draft.
In order?
I liked Drake, I liked JJ, and I liked Penix. Because I was like, yo, this kid could throw. Daniels, it's not like I don't like him. I just was like, I'm confused by him because he played a couple years at Arizona State, and he stunk. Like, stunk. And then all of a sudden he goes, and let me tell you something. Nobody talked about him until this year. The year before, he was at LSU. He had an okay year. I get it's his first year in the new system. He had Den Brock, who's the new Notre Dame one. So watch out on that end, guys. Freaking coordinator. And I look at him and I say, yo, like I watched even his last season tape. I watched some of the highlights and I was looking at him like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like he could be like, even I said to Vinny the other day, I said, he could be Lamar Jackson. I don't think he is, but he could. What does that mean? That we're going to win games, go to the playoffs, and never freaking go to the Super Bowl? I'm going to win it. I don't give a damn about it. I don't want to have the first. None of these quarterbacks, that's why the blacks always said, oh, when Lamar, that'll be our first one. Because they're talking about a running quarterback. They're not talking about Patrick and all the other ones that sit in the pocket and throw. Because Patrick Mahomes don't run. Yeah, he'll take off like John Elway a little bit. You know what I mean? Make a nice run. Nobody hits you anymore anyway.
But he can scramble. He can scramble, though, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He can scramble.
They got to stop that thing with, everybody's a dual threat. No. For one thing, we've had quarterbacks back then with this stuff, too, guys. Like, this is ridiculous.
Listen, and if anything, that's the reason why Williams is getting the hype that he's getting, because the kid can scramble. I'll give him that much. I've seen him, and
but I don't like the way he
shit break down and him elude a lot of different shit. And against some decent defensive fronts, that's why he's getting all this hype. There's nothing else. Because everybody else can throw the same, they could run the same, they could do all that shit. He ain't like a Lamar, but he could scramble. I'll give him that. And that's
no, but he'll stay in the pocket
in this day and age.
The problem I have with Khalib is this. One, obviously the weird shit. I don't give a damn. That's because, like, think about this. He's going to Chicago, right? That's a big city. A lot of people, stuff like that. Are you going to be on the, doing all this stuff all the time? You don't want your quarterback doing all this crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if my starting like, I didn't like when RG3 started doing it. I'm like, oh, man, you're talking too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, he might. And one thing I noticed about Khalid, swear to God, we played him even when they beat Notre Dame the year before, right? I noticed it then, and I noticed last year. I said, yo, if you just pressure the guy and keep him in the thing, he just keeps scrambling back and back. That ain't going to work in the NFL, dude. You cannot just keep running backwards and thinking you're gonna do. Everybody stop with this. Like, we're watching Tecmo Bowl quarterbacks all of a sudden. Like, oh, they just run here and run there, and he'll just throw. Yeah, he might do that on 1 or 2 plays and this stuff. Even Mahomes. Yeah, if he just ran straight back and kept running, dude, he'd get blasted after a while. Even though they don't let you hit anymore because for some reason they were like, oh, they want the vagina roll.
It's flag football. It's bitch football.
And you know what, Mike? I'm glad you brought up RG3 because I see a lot of Khalid Williams in RG3 and Khalid Williams. Like a lot.
No, he
like
could
I
throw
think they're almost the same. But you know what? I'll give you this much. I think RG3 was a better passer.
No, Williams is better.
You think
RG3 was boom, boom, boom. The thing about him, that was his problem. He could hit direct thing, but like his long throw sucked.
Yeah, but when he was at Baylor, he was lighting it up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he also
went to
had
Washington
4
that
wide
he couldn't throw
receivers,
no more.
Jules. Do you know who all his wide receivers were? They were stuck. That's what worries me about Jaden. They stud wide receivers, dude.
Yeah, they do. He does, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but you can say
really
that about Michael Penix too, man. I mean, he had Romo Dunze. That dude's nasty, man. That guy's
I know.
legit.
But what sold me on Penix? Yeah, but he also did it at Indiana, Jules. He was good at Indiana.
And he just got hurt. I know.
So basically, you're saying like wide receivers, like quarterbacks need wide receivers. That's what both of you are saying. So if the Giants if the Giants get a true number 1 wide receiver, does Daniel Jones just obviously play better because he actually has a wide receiver to play? You know what I mean?
Are you seriously going with this guy?
No, he's not. He's not. Don't even answer that.
Are we really doing this again?
It's a little satire, Blazek.
I mean, like,
exactly.
I mean, listen,
exactly what that is.
Listen, he's staying for a year, but we're definitely going to get a quarterback.
I hope they listen to you.
It's going to be the second round.
I hope they listen to you and they go with Danny Boy again and can extend them again.
They have to.
You're going nowhere and you like it.
You're going to draft a guy to groom, and you're going to draft a guy that's going to bust. That's it.
Hold up. What if I told you that I had a trade scenario that, look, and I could make it make sense and work financially if they were willing to do it, right? And in this scenario here, the Giants would actually cut Daniel Jones this year. Cut him. All right.
What's this about?
What if the Chargers say, okay, at 5, we're going to take Malik Neighbors, right? And they say for the Giants, we'll trade you Justin Herbert, eat his contract, and we'll take the number 6 pick. If like JJ McCarthy or somebody's still on board, and then they take JJ McCarthy, would you do that as a Giants fan? Well, it makes sense though, right? We eat Daniel Jones' contract, but we cut him because we got Justin Herbert. They get McCarthy and fucking they get Neighbors.
Right. That's
Like, that's something crazy when you think about that, dude.
I thought about that too. I'm like, what if he really loves his college boy and he goes JJ McCarthy at 5 and he's right there? And then, hey, you want Herbert? Come get him.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a bad move.
Hey, listen, right now, if the Bills were able to do that with the Texans with Stephon Diggs, to the point where they could even cut Stephon Diggs next year and not have to pay a penny. So basically, Houston got Stephon Diggs for next year's second-round pick. That's it. Doesn't cost them anything financially, right?
That'll be a trade.
Hold up, the Chargers free up that monster contract with Herbert. They just got to eat it year 1, which they would eat it anyway this year. They go and get JJ McCarthy, who they want because that's fucking Harbaugh's guy. And they get the second best receiver, arguably the best receiver in the draft. And they get like maybe a second or third round from the Giants next year.
Where do you see this happening?
I'm just saying, but you could, right? No,
dude, you know that Jim Harbaugh's on a thing saying he loves.
Wish he could do that.
JJ McCarthy's this good that teams are going to trade up for him to get him at 4. Why wouldn't Harbaugh think about doing some crazy shit?
Because Harbaugh's putting out stuff for his boy, so he can probably somehow land Harrison Jr. or somebody ridiculous. Because these guys are like, oh no, Minnesota's got to trade up to 4 now.
It's gonna be.
I mean,
right? Like they
get
JJ McCarthy and Neighbors and a second-round pick from the Giants next year.
No,
we get Justin Herbert.
I wouldn't be shocked. Here's the thing I think he's going to do.
Play that franchise too much, Jules.
I would not be shocked if everyone thinks because it's a deep wide receiver thing. I can't see Harbaugh taking the top like a wide receiver right there. I see him taking Joe Alt.
So what? All right. He gets JJ McCarthy and Alt right there. Bang, done.
For one thing, trading Herbert.
Wait. Trade as much as you're a fucking diehard Daniel Jones.
You think Herbert's going to get traded for
you
one
do that
pick?
trade? You got to cut Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones now becomes a free agent. He can go sign with the Eagles.
When I do that trade, Jules, the only way I can't do that trade because I don't see any team giving up a first rounder that top 10 for a guy like Herbert. I think Herbert gets maybe a second and a fourth or something like that, just because it's a big contract.
You crazy?
Yeah,
you crazy about that contract this year.
I don't think no team is going to give him a first.
You don't got to worry about this contract this year. That's why you're giving up the first round because they're going to do a deal like they did in Buffalo, where the Chargers eat the contract this year. They eat the contract this year, which allows you to then eat Daniel Jones's contract, cut him, so you don't got to worry about Daniel Jones next year, which is still going to cost you $20 million. Right now, you're just paying Herbert.
That's one thing I like about it.
Makes sense.
That's one thing I like about
it. You think Herbert's getting traded for what?
A first round pick. A first round pick and a second round next year. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot for Justin Herbert.
Wow.
Man has not even he hasn't won a playoff game, dude. Like, come on, yo.
What does that mean in today's NFL?
People are saying he's a bust. You're in a group chat where you talk about him being a bust every fucking week when he can't beat Miami and he always loses. He's a bust. So why can't he stay in a couple?
Well, no, I also said
it's a second round, dude.
You'll see it now. If it'll be on him because Harbaugh's a great coach. That guy Staley, I said from day one when that analytical dude was doing it every single time, I said, this guy's the dumbest guy I've ever met. I was like, this dude is retarded. I remember the Monday night game. He blew against the Kansas City because he went for 2 every time. And then at the end of the game, he was down by 10 and like, oh, well, maybe if you kicked a few extra points, you'd be down a touchdown.
Seriously. But by the way, I just dropped my fucking dream scenario for the draft. But anyhow.
That was it. That would be his sick draft at that.
That would be my dream right there. We make that fucking trade happen. It makes sense. It works.
I thought we were having real talk.
And everybody wins.
All right, let's write.
Are we having real talk, or are we just gonna do like, hey?
Let's take a quick. We'll take a quick commercial break right now, guys, and then we'll get in when we come back to see what our number one guys we want for each of our teams to draft. So we'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's special guest Mlarzik.
Commander Mlarzik.
But
my name is Mike.
Jules, I want to start with you. Because we're Giants fans, and we'll get to the Washington Redskin fan later. Not the Commanders. I can't say that. Jules,
we're suing them, baby. My Indian group is suing them. Naga.
All right, that's getting cut out. So, Jules, who do you want the Giants to get if they stay in number 6 or trade up? Any scenario you want besides Justin Herbert scenario that we just heard.
That was my one. You gotta it's the Justin Herbert scenario, man. It works. Everybody's a winner.
Get out of the dream world and come back to reality. Who's your guy? What position? What guy do you want?
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let me paint the scenario this way. Let's just say, oh God, I don't know what can happen here. Like I'm trying to make it so that it's not like I'm sitting there and it's still, if everything goes according to plan. And what I mean by that is the top 3 quarterbacks go, and then at least Marvin Harrison is gone in the first 4 picks, right? Which then leaves us Neighbors, Roma Dunze, all guys like that, right? In that scenario there, you know what? I've never been against either receiver in Neighbors or Rome. I like them both. I said that the slight advantage with Rome is the fact that he's bigger. That's it, right? Like he's a little bigger. He's over 6'2". He's like 6'2.5" or whatever the hell he is, right? Like he's a bigger receiver. He's a bigger target. We don't have that. So that's part of the reason why I like him a little bit more than Neighbors, but just a little, not much. I mean, dude, it's so close. It's not even funny. Obviously, if we ended up with any of them, I would be more than thrilled. If we ended up with all, I wouldn't hate life, but it would just be sort of like, okay, great. Now this offensive line better go 2 steps forward. You know what I mean? No more of this bullshit where that's an issue, because if we're wasting the number 6 pick overall, this guy better be the right guy. We better get this shit right.
We got everybody.
And all the other guys are fitting in the middle, and it's over, right? JMS in center, and we'll have everybody else that can play guard. And that's that. So for me, I honestly, truly want one of the receivers. I really do. I want a big name receiver to finally come into this fucking Giants team. We haven't had one, I feel like, in forever. Beckham was
McConkey.
what he was, but it just is what it is. And if let's just say, worst case scenario here, they don't feel comfortable taking Romo Dunze at 6, then trade the fuck back if it's possible, right? Like if all the quarterbacks go,
You're going for the other guy. I heard
who?
Neighbors. I heard.
Oh no, but there is a chance that Neighbors gets taken by the Chargers. I mean, let's think about it, right? If all 3 quarterbacks go, no one trades up to get to get to the number 4 spot. They take Harrison in Arizona, and then number 5 comes, and no one trades up for 5. They might go Neighbors. You never know. And then what? Now we're stuck at 6, and what we take J.J. McCarthy?
I think if
Oh my God, I'm
Chargers
gonna
stay
go
there,
shoot myself.
I think if the Chargers stay, that either move back or they might take Joel.
I think
Don't
Chargers
they need a
will stay
line?
there. I think they're going to go with the line. I think they got to go with Joel.
He
And
likes or he
just said,
trades back and takes the Penn State guy because I heard like Harbaugh likes a road grader, and that's what the Penn State guy is.
and
He's
Mike,
like
you just said it best. Like if we play out that scenario and the asking price in Arizona was too high, so they end up taking Harrison.
I think the Vikings might jump you, and
maybe they jump us at 5 then, and that's fine, dude. I'm totally fine with that. That happens, and they jump and they go to 5, and they fucking take JJ there. Oh my God, I'll be so ecstatic. And then we take Neighbors at 6. Done. Let's go.
It's not like I don't like Daniels. It's just the fact is that I watched him on the tape, and every single time he threw, it's like Neighbors and the other wide receivers. There's so many catches where you're like the dude catches it, and then he takes it another 40 yards, and it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, is it the quarterback or is it the wide receivers on this team? Like,
yak yards, man. You got to look at that.
Dude, he's fast as hell. No joke. He ran like a 4.2, Jaden. Great for him. But damn well, I like the guy to stay in the park. Like, for one thing, Drake can run. JJ can run. They all, even Penix, they thought he was slow, which I thought was crazy, and he ran a 4.4. Like,
Well, honestly, you want Drake May, so that's like you already said that. For me, I'm with Jules in a way. Like I want all 4 quarterbacks, right? The top 4 to go like 1 through 4, whatever. I think.
Because you're not going to draft that, then yeah.
2 teams, you're right, Larson. Because one is the Vikings, the other one is Denver. They want to trade up for a quarterback. Let them trade up for a quarterback. I don't want one of these top guys. I want.
Thank you.
In my dream scenario, it would be Marvin Harrison Jr. to slip to the Giants at 6 because the Chargers desperately need an offensive lineman. But that it worries me about a trade up ahead of the Giants because you know how teams love to trade ahead of the Giants and just ruin my fucking night every fucking draft night. So that's what I'm worried about. And then, Larson, before you came on, I said like my other dream scenario is the Giants to draft like a guy like Bo Nix in the 2nd round or trade up later in the 1st to get a him.
Yeah, I don't know about
or
him.
Penix. The Bo Nix or Penix. If they could trade
he is accurate
first to get him, I'll be happy. So you getting a quarterback and a wide receiver of the future, top 2 picks, I'll take it.
See, that's the thing. I feel like Penix and Nix will slip. I don't think they're going as high as people do. Maybe Penix does. I don't know. Maybe JJ slips. I don't know. But one of these quarterbacks, I will say this, even if it's JJ, if they slip and land to somebody like later in the 1st round or like that 2nd round, they're going to be nasty. I just know one of those guys is going to be good.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing about Kenny Pickett, and look at how he is. You know what I mean? I said that on this podcast.
But that draft, I tell you the truth, my favorite guy in that draft, not because we got him.
Malik Neighbors?
No, I liked him. No, Malik Willis, I was like,
Malik Willis, what the fuck his name is? Sorry.
Yeah.
Neighbors is on my mind subconsciously.
I liked Hal a lot in that draft. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought he was the best. I was shocked that he went later. Pickett, I was okay about. Like, Pickett, I did like a little bit too. But then, like, it wasn't, what I'll say is this. It wasn't like a draft where you looked at quarterbacks and you said, oh, damn, these dudes are nasty. And it's the same thing. I think these quarterbacks in this draft are better than that class. Yes. They just got, you know what it is? They just got, like, even Drake May, and even Khalil. Like, Drake May, look at how many quarterbacks in the NFL are big.
Well, hold on.
Dude.
I got a question for you here because this is what this draft reminds me of. And granted, it's 6 years later now. So, you know, like we've seen what happened in the NFL, right? But in that 2018 draft, Baker Mayfield was number 1. Okay. Josh Allen was in that draft. Sam Darnold was taken by the fucking Jets. Okay. You had Josh Rosen. Okay?
I still think he was
and the
good.
only thing that saves that quarterback draft is the fact that Lamar Jackson went at the end of round 1 to fucking the Ravens. That's it. Because if you look at that draft, and that was hyped up too 4 quarterbacks. Josh Rosen. Oh my gosh, Sam Darnold can't fucking miss. Who's gonna be better? Josh Allen is a wild card. He's raw. Maybe he'll turn into something. And Baker Mayfield is a surefire number 1 pick.
Oh yeah,
How they look
But
now,
Baker
dude,
was a
6 seasons
shocker.
later.
Baker was like JJ that moved, like, you know what I mean, like one of those dudes that shot out of nowhere. But
That's
the
my
funny
point,
thing about
dude. That's my point, though. And this draft reminds me so much that 2018.
Yeah, but
and it's famous, bro, because that's where the Giants took Saquon number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like that draft is fucking perfectly the same fucking thing.
The one thing about JJ that I was like, and I was like, this is BS, because they were saying when he was playing at the end of the year, they were like, oh, he's gonna go late first, second round. I'm like, no freaking way is this guy going that far. Like, this dude was a good enough quarterback. He's better than Baker. Listen, Baker making a solid career. He's like that starter that's like,
he ain't playing like the number 1 pick in the draft.
No, he should have never went there. He should have never went there.
Okay.
Those dudes always do this. I feel like Jaden. You know what's funny? Last year, Jaden Daniels was like, what, 5th round to 4th round? He shoots up out of nowhere now. Out of nowhere. Like, now he's like the man. Yeah, I know. Yo, you got to take this guy.
Yeah, but Anthony Richardson did that last year. You know what I mean? He came out of nowhere with the Colts taking him where they took him. You know what I mean? And then you had your boy, trainer, that you love so much that ended up with San Francisco. Where's he now? Oh, he's a backup in Dallas.
Trey Lance. Whoops. See, we all well, nobody knows nothing. You know?
My point
well,
exactly.
I think it's the team that takes him.
You would have to be a psychic to figure this shit out.
For real.
Like, I think I'm pretty.
Look, Jules, you mentioned the 2018 draft. I said it before. Like, if the Cleveland Browns would have went Barkley number 1, they would have been better off, because then they would have been stuck at quarterback with Josh Allen. So you would have had a great offensive line, Saquon Barkley.
How would they have gotten Josh Allen though?
Because like Baker would have went, Darnold would have went.
Oh, instead of them taking
then at 4, Cleveland would have got us. They would have got stuck with Josh Allen. This project. Imagine how that team would have turned out. You know what I mean?
It's funny how
you're right, Morris. It all depends where you go.
No, it does. No, he hit it on the head with that.
It does.
It's anything different.
I think if you go to the wrong team, like if any of these quarterbacks go to the wrong team, they got no chance. Like I thought like Rosen, I liked him. I like that class. Like Sam, I like Sam the best out of that class. And it's funny how he's at Minnesota right now, and I wouldn't be shocked if unless they get a quarterback. But like, you know what I mean? Like
they're making moves to get a quarterback, dude.
Maybe.
And you know what? I can see them trading up with the Patriots. The Patriots are smart. That's what they'll do. They'll trade that 3rd pick, get the extra 1st round picks, and actually start building that team. You know, and then also that changes a lot of the landscape as well.
If Minnesota shocks everybody and is like, we're not moving anywhere. Yeah. First pick, we want to take like a lineman, and the 2nd pick in the 1st round, they take Penix. They're like, that might be like, everybody be like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this guy's nasty.
Like, I mean, listen, they still got work to do. They still got to sign Jefferson. So they
got
their work cut out for them.
Think about that. They got Jefferson and Addison. Like Penix can throw. He can throw the ball, dude. And he stays in the pocket. You know?
I mean, do you think that Penix is the 5th best quarterback off the board currently?
No.
Wow. Okay. So who is then?
Well, I don't like what's his name. I just don't. Khalib. I'm glad the Bears are taking him. Like, I just don't. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want nothing to do with it. I wouldn't be shocked that like his thing turns into like I think he'll be able to play. See, what the problem will be is like he'll start off good because they ain't got a bad nucleus around them that they built there for them, right? He'll start off good and then he's gonna ruin himself. You know what I mean? He's just gonna be like, oh God, with his dad, with this still, it's just gonna be too much there.
Well, you know what's something that, and here's where I'm gonna keep beating the drum on this, where you fall into a system, but it's not only just a system. Sometimes it's where you play in the country. This guy's coming from playing in Southern California, where it's like 75 degrees year round and shit. Beautiful weather, maybe they get a rain game here and there. And now he's gonna go play in Chicago.
He sucked at Notre Dame, baby.
Bro, by the time it's like October, it's already like fucking 20 degrees out. You don't know how he's going to react. You don't know how he's going to play in that environment.
He played horrible.
But one of the reasons why CJ Stroud was so successful is because half their games was in the dome. And then the other half, they're playing in fucking Jacksonville and shit like that, dude, where it's like fucking still 70 degrees in November. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you
like,
something about
you got
Khalid.
the fact of that type of shit in there too.
Khalid came to Notre Dame in the cold weather, and he completed more passes to my savior, Xavier Watts, than he did his own wide receivers.
My point exactly. Thank you for bringing that up.
He
and bringing
threw
it to
3
Notre Dame
picks to
facts
that
now.
dude in that game.
That's my point. And now he's got to play 8 or whatever it is, 9 games at fucking that stadium in December. Imagine playing in Chicago in December when it's like fucking 20 degrees outside. You
It's
remember
fucking
that
cold
Justin
there.
Fields snow game? Like, what the fuck is he gonna do in that shit? The dude, I don't even know if he knows what snow is.
People look like Trainer. They're so white there. Not...
Whatever.
You know, like you gotta keep
Yo,
all these
he's
things
got
in
the
mind.
he's got the right skin color Trainer to survive there. It looked like, remember Coughlin in the cold? His face was red. You're like, oh man, get him out of the cold.
That's how I knew we were gonna win.
Like, yo, no, that was the best one. Was like, yo, who was that punter? Who's
I mean,
that
listen,
punter?
I guess because he
Rutherford?
grew up in Washington, D.C.
No,
or whatever, but still.
Dodge. He punted to Deshaun. We haven't seen him since. Oh, yo, we never saw him again. He should open up a Dodge dealership. They should give it to him. Yo, I think, no, thank God he was in New York when he did it, because Copeland's like, if we were anywhere else, you're going to get your own plane ride ticket. I told you to him.
All right, so Mike, then just to fucking keep playing with it, I put out my dream scenario. Trainers put out his dream scenario. What would be your dream scenario for the Commanders to do at pick 2? Dream scenario, like that's it. The genie came out of the bottle and says, "We'll grant you whatever you want."
Well,
at number 2.
I would. This is the problem. Like, I have a Cleveland and Jane, and then I'll make my pick. It's not like you see the talent on Jaden Daniels, and you're like, okay. But the one thing I heard about Caleb and Jaden, they get sacked the most. That's bad. So, I mean, dude, I don't get that these dudes are like, especially Jaden. He's 20. He's going to be 24 when the season starts. They're like, obviously the tape looks better. I'm like, this dude's freaking Trainer's age. Like, dude, he's been in college for 6 years. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, yo, you look at the tape. Mel Kiper talking. You look at the tape. I'm like, dude, he's 3 years older than my guy, Trey.
Yeah,
so,
and he also got trucked in LSU and fucking a couple of his runs, but actually him got blasted. All right,
my
he ain't
dream
no
thing,
Cam Newton. I'll tell you that much.
Some of
and
us
he might be
in college for more than a couple of years.
he might be a bust, but I don't know, man. I think if he gets to the right place, Drake May, he's big. That would be the guy I'd be happy to take. I don't care. They're like, oh, he won't play. All right. So we suck this year and go with stupid Mariotti. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as long as this dude comes out to be good. I love how everyone at this time of the year tells you every quarterback is not going to be able to play. And then all of a sudden during the summer, you're hearing great things. This quarterback, and he's going to freaking play. Like, you know what I mean?
It always happens that way.
So
But-
dream scenario now. Dream.
Well, there's no scenario because, like, all the other picks and stuff like that, like, we're number 2. So,
Well, you
I
go
mean,
with like a Herbert idea, like I did, where somebody trades up, and then all of a sudden you get 2
No, I don't wanna
first-round picks,
trade.
and
I don't
all
want
this greatness happens.
We've got enough picks. I don't want to trade. We got freaking 6 picks in the top 100. We got 2 2s, 3 3s. We get plays. Go take the quarterback to you. This is the thing. Whoever they take, I'm going to go for because I do believe in this GM. The talk about this guy, so we'll see. But it's still hard to pick a quarterback. I like the structure that we have. I honestly like this new owner that, dude, he gets guys that you're like, oh, my God, he just hired this guy. Like, you're in this guy. Like, so we'll see. I think we're going to be a different organization than what we had under that goddamn moron.
All right. So again, dream scenario could mean that you trade back and get more picks. You know, what
I don't
mean?
want to
So
do
now
it.
You have 2 first rounds, 3 second rounds.
How
and 2
far back?
thirds.
Like 1 pick?
Maybe 3 or 4. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like you got to build the scenario. It's not.
But
It's not my.
that's not
dream.
going to happen because Arizona's not going to trade up for us. They're not going for a quarterback. Only New England would do. And like, I don't understand how somebody would go from 2. We're going for 3. Like, you know, like they're not going to talk on the phone. Who you like? Like, you know what I mean? Like why would they move up? Like, you know, so I don't see us, and I don't want to move any farther back than that. I don't want to go to 5 because then all of a sudden, well, we don't get any of those quarterbacks. You know, they're like, oh God, that was genius.
So,
You know?
so who's your dream pick? You Drake May? That's it. That's it. You can take him at 2. You just hope that
I just want to
Washington
have a
does it?
great draft. Yeah, take him. Take him.
All right.
Call it a day.
All right.
Call it a day.
So now can we at least get you on live with us next week when the draft is on, at least for Washington's pick? Just so we get a live reaction from you.
No, because you guys want to talk
after
yap.
goes.
Like, if we take Jaden, it's like going to be upsetting to me. It's not, because I believe in this team. If they saw something in the, like, for Christ, I actually like what they did today. They invited the 4 quarterbacks together, and they're like, go compete.
Listen, I could definitely screw up your world.
Nobody ever did that.
Well,
Nobody brought in all the visiting quarterbacks and said, go compete today.
What if at number 2, Washington decides to go JJ McCarthy? How you feel?
I'm still all right with it. I'll be
all right with it. You're all right with that.
I wish that maybe the smart thing, but I'll be all right with it.
Okay.
You got, as a fan, you got to be. You just got to believe, right?
No.
The moral of the story.
You better believe.
No, but I don't.
You better be
I'm
praying.
telling you, I don't think JJ is gonna suck, dude.
Oh,
Even if the
God.
Giants picked him, I'm like, oh man, this kid's good.
So you would be all right with JJ McCarthy drafted number 2 overall?
I would still want Drake more, but if they felt like this guy was like the dude,
Oh,
like,
God, that would be my dream scenario.
you
Because
know,
now we're talking. Because if Drake May fell to 6, I would fucking be all on board with that.
well, that's I just think that people, like, I think they're using, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's no smoke screens. I just think a lot of people seem to be using Jaden Daniels, the one guy that's like, you know, and listen, some of them might be right, but like, he seems like the guy, like, wait a minute, how is this guy, like, they even had reports that some of them, like, he's better than Khalif. I'm like, oh, this guy's better than him now? Like,
everything's all
like,
belief.
yeah, like, you know what's funny? What was the guy everyone said, oh, he's going to go third when they picked Trey Lance, Mac Jones, and then he went later. You know what I mean? So, like,
he slipped.
something,
right.
some of these things are just, these guys, and everyone's like, well, that's why I get mad at, like, Jules, like Tony and all them, these people that put out all stuff. I'm like, leave me alone with this. The last couple of days, then put out stuff. I don't want to listen to all this crap because it's all crap, guys.
I'm with it too, man.
And you know what? No. Hey, Mike, you reminded me of something right now.
I feel like I had a baby. How much times I've listened to this?
You literally have just reminded me of something you said. The last 3 seasons we've done this draft and pod and live and everything else, there has not been one year yet, and I could probably go back a lot further, where that top 5, 6, 7 picks, that something didn't go according to what everybody said was going to happen.
No.
It's been that way every fucking year. There's some surprise pick that jumps up in there out of nowhere.
And ruins it all.
Why would that be any different this year?
I'll say this. Somebody said, put on a thing. I was watching a show on my on one of my sources for Redskins, and
here we go.
Somebody wrote that I won't believe Mel Kiper said, because last year, and I don't know what his top 10 picks were, he was wrong 9 out of 10 of them. He got the first pick right, the quarterback, and none of the other things right. And you know what? For his thing, it's kind of hard to do, because the fact is there'll probably be a trade. There'll probably be a pick and then if some say like Chargers, they don't go the wide receiver, they go to lineman. That just, oh, well, now the Titans one's going to be wrong. Now you know what I mean? The Giants one's going to be wrong because they might take the other wide receiver. You know what I mean? Changes.
Right. I mean, because listen, Harbaugh very well. Just think about it. He's coming out of Michigan, where they literally had one of the best offensive lines in the entire country, and all of a sudden, he's going to the Chargers. Their offensive line is like suspect. You know what I mean?
Is any of them going to the pros?
Right, it is.
Huh?
Is any of them in the pros? Like, I mean, going in the draft or not? Are they still back? A lot of these guys.
I think some are back still. I think a few of them are back for another year.
I mean, shit.
You're not really hearing much about them, which is weird.
Dude, their line was so good that they ran the ball 32 straight times on your Penn State.
Dude, all right, so Mike, glad you brought that game up, right? Because that's the game that I really watched JJ McCarthy, right? Because I'm a Penn State fan. We all know this, right?
But they didn't need to throw.
But that's the point. That's the point. Like, they ran the ball down their throats. That's what he did a lot of. And then, like, when it came down and he had to make a big throw,
but that was
he was able to.
Jules.
But the defense had to sell out for the run. You understand? And that's when he started opening up the pass.
See, you watched the wrong game, because the fact is, I watched the
national title game. I watched the Alabama game.
That he played good there. He played good against Alabama. He made the drive.
That's what made his bones, if you would. It's that Alabama game that's hanging his hat so high, and I don't think
That's a big game. It's a big
They played one really good
Larry.
game. Big deal. Wait, Penix wasn't even better that night against Texas?
No,
Think
he's
about
awesome.
that.
That's his game. That was his game that I was like, that's what, I ain't gonna lie. I saw some games against, for one thing, I have to give Penix credit because remember they were underdogs. They beat Oregon. They played them again, and they were underdogs by 10 points.
And look, and you're right. You know what? I saw Penix in both those games. I watched both those games against Oregon.
And he was awesome.
He was fucking awesome in those games. I'll give it to him. He looked great. Like he is a guy, but then he got shut down against Michigan, and I kind of lost.
Yeah, but they got a good team, man.
I get that. But that's what I'm saying. Like you're talking about a quarterback that had a really good defense, had one of the best offensive lines in the country, and won a national title because of that surrounding cast.
That's why I
don't like JJ.
Jules, I told Joe the year before with the Michigan fan, and I said to him, he got the running backs to come back. I said, you son of a bitch, you got these guys coming back. I said, dude, you have a legitimate shot. You're going to win the national championship. I said it. I was like, dude, you got everybody coming back. That was dude. One thing, 18 guys got invited to the combine. 18. Well, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like they do have talent.
Of course.
I look at little things that McCarthy did, like his freshman year when he came in the championship game against Alabama or the playoff game, whatever it was. And he threw and he scored a few. And I was like, this kid, it's certain little things. Now, listen, I also said, if he lands in Denver, watch out. Because the thing about him is he's mad accurate, Jules. He's mad accurate.
But he's not going to go to Denver because unless Denver trades up, there's no way Minnesota would be sitting there and not take JJ at that point.
If they don't like him. Like, I don't know who. I think Connell would. I think if he goes to Minnesota, Connell, under Kevin Connell, that'll be all right. He's proven to be all right on offense. Like, he's got for one thing, he's got the structure there, Jules. The 2 wide receivers, the tight end is Hawk. I mean, it's a good team.
It is. I mean, he's got some
defense
weapons.
Stinks.
Their offensive line is still a little suspect too, but whatever.
It's
not terrible. It's average. It's average.
After the draft, we see where everybody lands, and I will tell you, we all pretty much know who the dumb organizations are, and we would probably could say we used to be one of them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if we are under this. Like, it didn't matter.
JJ McCarthy at 2, you might be.
What?
If you say JJ McCarthy at 2, you might be.
I hope he wins this man Super Bowls. I will rub your face in it.
Yes, you would be able to too, because this is recorded.
I don't care. I will show up to your freaking apartment and be like, Jules. I mean, I will say this. I do think this is an okay, talented class. I do think these some quarter. I think if the Giants, if you're thinking about getting a quarterback, I think you should decide to do it in this one. The next year's one, even though there's always guys that come out of nowhere. Everyone's like, oh, there's nobody in that class. I'm like, dude, Riley Leonard's in that class. Who else is in that class? The kid
from Ole Miss, he might be in that class. He looks
the Ole Miss,
too. He can turn out this year.
The Texas kid, Ewers.
Yeah.
You know who I don't want you to get? I want you to take one next year or whatever if you don't believe in Daniel Jones anymore. I don't want you better not touch Archie Manning because I swear to God you get that kid.
We get that kid. It's all
over. Oh, I'm telling you right now, Trainer's not living through that guy's career. He's not. You're not. I'm not doing it because everyone's like, what's funny?
Tony goes, Archie Manning doll.
Tony goes, how Tony said to me one time, he goes, how do you know that he's going to be really good? He hasn't even started yet. I'm like, dude, do you see the size of this dude? And the thing, he's like Peyton Manning size, and he can run like he. You know what he reminds me of? And I think he's more accurate. Trevor Lawrence. He reminds me of Trevor Lawrence when I saw him. I think he wears his number too. 16.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what the quarterback position is turning into. So that's what these guys are these days.
Gotta have athletes.
Watch him. That's another thing. Is he going to stay this spring? I wonder if he leaves Texas.
Cool.
I wonder because it's the second year. Unless he redshirted his first year and he gets an extra year, because he's going to want to call. One thing, there's no way he's making senior year. He's not coming out senior. He's coming out junior year. So I wonder where he would go. Would he go to Eli's place, Ole Miss? Isn't that the family thing? right?
Nah, Payne went to Tennessee.
Yeah,
No,
Tennessee.
His dad,
Payne-
Archie, went there.
Yeah,
no, but yeah, the father,
Yeah, the
and the
father went there.
family.
That's it. It was the father and Eli. That's all.
So Eli's the good
But
son.
they all went to that high school that one there. I forget the name of it. The one out there that's like one of the top
Peyton
high
and
schools
Cooper,
in
the
football and
Rebels.
everything else. They all played there, and they
Fucking
all kind of
Cooper.
broke each other's records and shit.
That's like Trader. Trader's in his family. His sisters are all athletes, and the brother
gotta end this
Trader's
podcast.
Cooper. He's Cooper.
Jules, we got to wrap this up. Cooper
All
got
right,
it.
let's wrap it up. Mike, final thoughts. You're gonna be on next week, at least for the Washington pick. Could we at least give the audience that much fucking fun?
Who's gonna
Come
be
on.
on it? All you jerks.
Well, it'll be a few of us.
Yeah.
I'll see because I
We'll
like
invite Vinny
to
on.
relax.
Vinny
I mean,
might.
listen, you could always disconnect the call. I mean, it's not like you gotta stay on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You just go click.
Oh wait! Before you do all that, let's give a big to the Yanks with the comeback win today.
I swear, Yankees off to a great start. It's about fucking time. I love Juan Soto, so yes.
I think you guys should have a moment like like the Bears, but come up with a giant one like they had with on the SNL with the sticker and the maybe you guys eat some like sausages and stuff.
Oh, Bears.
Who could be Chris Farley on that?
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. We got a week to decide.
Somebody
But
come up the chat.
That's it. We're gonna wrap this bad boy up. All right. Look, we came back.
You don't
We
want to
held in
talk
a
more
few
Giant
things.
talk?
Yeah, that's it for now. Listen, the draft is
Wait a
a
minute,
little bit
time
more
out
than a
before
week
you
away,
go.
but
Who's other picks besides the top thing that we talked? Like obviously, the last couple of minutes was the first couple of picks. I guess no more of the draft. Is there anybody you guys like in the later rounds?
We'll get
It's a
there
fair
next
question.
week.
Is there one pick? Name me. All right, here we'll go
We have
around.
plenty of time next week to talk about.
One pick in the later round. The Giants. Time out.
I
One
mean
pick.
that's definitely gonna be discussions in round one because you're gonna see
One
who
pick.
falls and what we
One
take.
pick in this whole room.
It depends what we take at one. Because you know what? Like, I got to go with training scenarios there. If we get that wide receiver, and then you're telling me in round two that, like, maybe Bo Nix or Penix is still around, or maybe we trade up, I would be okay with that. You know
How
what I
about
mean?
taking
Like,
a
I'm not hating on
lineman?
that.
How about taking a lineman, guys? It's a big draft with linemen.
That's why I
And
think
look, and
like
look-
later in the first we might trade up. Like we might have to stay up for that because Giants maybe they trade back in the first later in the
And
first.
then,
They
Mike,
got that many picks.
Can Xavier Leggett be there maybe around two? Right? If we did take JJ McCarthy, but then we get Xavier around two, I'd be okay with that too. That kid was good in South Carolina. I don't know why he fell down the board so much.
I like the corner from Notre Dame, even though I'm naming Notre Dame. Well, actually, there's a couple corners. I like.
Well, my favorite corner was the kid from Iowa. I think that kid is a fucking
The white
beast.
kid?
Yeah, bro. That dude's
he
Jason
French?
Sehorn on steroids, all right?
Is he French? He's got a weird white name.
Yeah, that boy could play. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Oh, you're gonna go with Sehorn again? Remember when
Yeah.
he dropped his pants and mooned everybody?
I remember.
Well, listen, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. All right.
How do you
This is our-
forget something like
This
that?
is our
Trey?
draft preview with Commander Mike on the show. All right, Like, going
Redskins.
all out,
Redskins.
talking about how he doesn't like fucking. He would rather have fucking Drake May, but he's okay with JJ McCarthy going number 2. Just want to put that on the record one more time officially. But that's it. Next time you hear from us, it'll be draft
like
night.
JJ.
And all
I
the
like
bullshit,
JJ.
all the predictions will be coming out.
Dynamite. Good
There might be a
times.
lot of
JJ.
fucking people happy. There might be a lot of people sad. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. Peace. Draft day.
Go Giants.